anywhere. Data members. Okay. In order to protect the integrity of an object state, we generally encapsulate all attributes of a class as private. Okay. Preferring public access through designated accessors and mutators. So when you write a fraction class or any class, it's best to not have to invoke your object dot underscore numer. It's better to use an accessor. So it's better that when you write a class, uh, to introduce some accessors within the methods, collection of methods you have. Okay. Now, so we can designate, yeah, preferring public access through designated accessors and mutators. So those are for data members. What about private methods? We can designate certain methods as private by using underscore as the first character of their names. While the public methods are one that we expect to be called by others, private methods are used for our own convenience when implementing a class. All right. So again, I must emphasize, if you have only one underscore, it is actually protected. Okay. Private requires two underscores in the beginning, two underscores in the beginning, but not at the end. Okay. That makes it, having double underscore here and here makes it special, but starting with two underscores makes it private. Okay. Now, all right. So, for example, you can have your methods. Well, all of these methods are special in our function, but you could incorporate some methods which are mutators or accessors which are public or private. So, how do you make a method public? You don't start with any underscore. Okay. Now, modules and unit testing. Unit testing we have already seen. If double underscore name double underscore is quote double underscore main double underscore quotes, if you can test things here. All right. So here in the racquetball you had unit testing approach. So this was a place where you could test each one of the functions you define as you go along. Okay. So the source code of a large project is typically split into several files. This helps improve the organization, supports reuse of code, and allows for different developers to edit different components. Okay, so if you this is, by the way, so far we have written very small codes, but typically when you work on projects, you will have large files. You don't keep everything in one file. You have several files. One file will import some other file, and so on and so forth. So that that separation is a good way of keeping things organized. Okay, so you can have different developers edit different components without interfering with each other, right? If one class relies upon definitions from a separate file, the latter elements must be imported. So whenever any one of my codes uses some other class, I have to import it, like we have done for importing math, importing random, and so on. So another important principle of good software development is to test each individual component as it is written. So as and when you write a function, get it tested, get it tested. Testing a class individually instead of as part of a larger program is called unit testing. Unit testing is where you test each piece that you write as you go along. It could be one method or it could be one class, but rather than test a huge project once, go on testing each single piece. This is the essence of bottom-up implementation. With unit testing, earlier classes are rendered reasonably error-free. So this makes sure that the smaller pieces are error free before being used. So what is the approach? You are going to Python provides a convenient manner for embedding unit tests inside the same file as the class implementation. So as you're writing your file, you have a place where in the same file that you can test your pieces. Okay, could be classes, could be methods, could be functions, and so on. And that is this. If double underscore name double underscore is. Okay, this is double equal, it's not single equal. The conditional allows us to execute commands as part of an isolated unit test, yet to have those commands ignored when the file is being incorporated into a larger software project. When a Python program is executed, the flow of control begins with an indicator module. The top level module may import other modules along the way. So here, for example, you're importing another module, okay, while writing this code. And that's okay. You could import several modules here. When a Python program is executed, the flow of control begins with an indicator module. The top level module may import other modules along the way. Within an individual module, the special variable under double underscore name serves to identify the context. Okay, so if I'm importing random, if you see random module, in that you will also find if name and so on. Okay, so within every individual module, the special name serves to identify the context in which that module is being currently loaded. So when I import it, it doesn't get compiled, it just gets imported. If the module is the one upon which the interpreter was initially invoked, this variable will be main. Okay, so every module has this particular special variable. That special variable becomes gets the value main when I am interpreting that particular file. All right, and that's why when I run this file, its value becomes main, and so I have to perform invoke this particular function. Okay, this may be a bit dry. This you will understand as time goes along. All right. So this completes my lecture 10. We'll continue next video on lecture 11. Okay. Until then, bye.